you have the concept that you were born. And when you adopt that belief, what you do is you take on that you're going to die. And then you take on that you're going to suffer. And so now you're deep into this cycle. You're born, you believe that you are born, you believe all the things that are happening to you, and I don't care how your life goes, to me that's suffering. And then you're going to die. And it's just this faulty, it's a misidentification with the mind, which is attached to the body, you see, they come as a set. So if you're identified with the mind, you're identified with the body. And it causes so much suffering in this world. It also makes the virtual reality seem real. Okay, so all of this is made real, it's fed through your belief. You believe that this is happening. You believe this is real. You believe that you are this body. You see, and all of that just makes all this seem real. Anyone who looks at it can see this just a smoke and mirrors show. That, 10,000 years, none of this has any meaning at all. In 100 years, who's going to remember you? Maybe you'll be on someone's family tree, maybe it'll go back that far. And, you'll just be a name scribbled on a piece of paper, and maybe someone will go to ancestry.com and look up your census form or something. It proves you were there because there's some history, but, you can tell it's not real. You can tell it's dreamlike. You can tell just looking at it. You can tell just looking at yesterday that it's dreamlike. I mean, when you think of yesterday, all it is a memory. All it is like a recording that has been made in your mind. So I'll warn everyone, there's thunder going on here. We lost our electricity already. So if this goes out, you all can just sit quietly for a while. Probably get more out of that anyway. So really, you see, if you examine your life, if you examine these thoughts, if you examine the feelings, if you start really looking at them, the thing about an illusion, even a good one, if you look at it really, really closely, it loses its sense of reality. It starts fading away because illusions just don't hold up well to scrutiny. So even the mind can look at the mind and see that there's no there there. Now, there is there in this moment, in this very moment. If you just happen to slip into it by mistake, and the mind is quiet and you're just being, and there's just this awesome, overwhelming sense of being, that has a whole different aspect to it, because although you personally tuned into it for a second, it's always there. You just happen to become aware of it for a second, but it's always there. And it has a staying power that it will be there after you die, and it was there before you were born. Okay, so one of the primary teachings here is that which is real is that which is unchanging. So just be aware of all the things around you that are changing. They're in constant movement. The mind itself is like a movement interpreter. It's totally based in this world of change. Your body is totally based in the world of change. Your body is changing all the time. And it's based in movement, you see? Whereas this place, that awesome place that you experience on occasion, is not based in movement, it's based in stillness, you see? So you have these appearances of movement. They're temporary, all of them are temporary. You don't have a single feeling that has staying power. They all come and go, every single one. It doesn't matter how bad you feel, just remember, it won't last. And it doesn't matter how good you feel, just remember, it won't last. So don't attach yourself to these things. These things are just passing things. If you need to attach yourself to something, attach yourself to something that's stable, that is unchanging, you see? So that there's really no words for it, but I'll approximate it as best I can in words by saying that sense of being, that sense of presence that is always there behind everything, okay? So it's where every single thought you ever had came from stillness. It arose out of stillness. There was nothing, and then there was a thought. It came out of it. So focus on that stillness. So go behind the mind. Go behind the thoughts. Look where things come from. Now, the method that Nisargadatta uses and many great masters use is that sense of I am. That sense of I am. It's not perfect, but nothing is. So I am, just that sense of presence, of being. Like there's some initial awareness that happens immediately. All of a sudden, consciousness is aware of its existence. And that's the actual thing that is really cool about this appearance of duality, is that suddenly consciousness, which is everything, becomes aware of its existence. Now, when you're everything, being aware of your existence is like, so why would you even bother? It wouldn't arise. But because everything is everything, it also includes a little tiny, tiny speck of duality, a little sense of everything includes that which has limitation. Okay? Within that sense of limitation, consciousness all of a sudden goes, oh, I am. And so there's that sense of presence, of being, which is that awesome thing that occurs every now and then when you have your little spiritual free samples using. And so what you want to do is don't attach yourself to your thoughts and feelings. And when you do, notice that that's what you're doing. So it's kind of like, oh, look at that. There's involvement. Involvement means like you dove into believing that you are the thoughts and feelings, that you are this body, that you are doing something. You're not doing anything. Nothing's happening here. This is just smoke and mirrors show. Okay, so like you can watch Bugs Bunny and everything and Daffy Duck and you watch them all arguing and shooting each other and doing all kinds of crazy shit, and you laugh and it's funny and it's good, and it's like part of you believes that's real. And if Bugs Bunny believed it was real, oh well, it's not. It doesn't matter. It's all on the film, and you're Bugs Bunny. But you believe you are Bugs Bunny, and that's funny. You see, within this this duality, within the movement, what makes it work is this sense of time, this sense that there is movement in time, and the memory holds on to that movement in time. But understand that the who that you are is eternal. Time doesn't exist. Everything that can be has already been. there is no limitation. Time is a limitation. There you have the past, the present, and the future, you see? And what are these things really? What's the past? The past is simply a memory that's basically a recording in your mind. And you can tell that's dreamlike when you look back. You might have feelings about it and stuff, but it doesn't have the same quality as now. Now, there's something about it that feels more real. Now, the future, what is the future? The future is just an idea you have in your mind. What is it? It's something that might happen. How is it going to happen? And you have thoughts about it and feelings about it. What is it? It's nothing. It's a projection. The mind is like a projection machine, and it's stored memories from the past, and it's projected ideas into the future. And the present now is really best experienced when the mind is quiet. So I'm just explaining to you how the virtual reality works, you see. And if you look at this, if you really use good discrimination and watch in your daily how this all works, that it is just as important. I mean, it's one thing to have concepts and ideas about what the truth is, what reality is, but they're just concepts and ideas, and that's not truly what reality is. But one thing you can definitely do accurately is know what the illusion is, know what's not real. So you can look at the mind can look at the mind and identify the falsehood. And you see, when you can see it clearly, your temptation to get involved with it starts diminishing, you see. And then the sense of me as an individual begins to diminish. When it diminishes enough, what I'm talking about, who you really are, is what's left. It's not something that you become, because you already are that. So you don't have to really do anything. You can, pretend, and you can use your intellect to get a picture. That's all well and good. I did all that along the way. But the picture that I had in my mind did not really match what it is, because it was a concept. And what it is not a concept. In any case, that's part of the process. And the main thing that I really spent a lot of energy on the last 2 years of my sadhana was getting to know the illusion. Because I figured I was stuck with it. I figured at this point, after 20 years, I was going to be stuck with the mind, with the ego. And I might as well get to know what I was stuck with. And I didn't know this, but when you get to know the ego really, really well, it disappears, because it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. So just get to know this character that you think you are, and hold it up to real careful scrutiny, and use really good discrimination, because the mind's slippery, very slippery. And you don't want to accidentally just create a new and improved ego.